Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Chelsea chat. Big up to every single one of you. Hope you guys have enjoyed your post-match day because for yet another game, it's been relatively peaceful. There's no real scaremongering. There's no conversations about the owners. There's no civil war BS. Nothing like that. Feels like we're a little bit united, just a little bit, because like we've all seen the main trending topics of today, and I'm sure we're going to touch on that. And to everybody who hasn't seen it, check out the latest episode of Carefree Reacts, where we just reacted to Rory Jennings and Jamie Carragher, and just the load of waffle that we saw for like 5 minutes on the overlap. But we're going to touch on that for later. Andrew's going to be late because he's just finishing up on Footy Judge Mo. Big up to him. CB, it's good to have you back on the channel, though. Big up to you, my guy. Great to have you back on the show. Everybody sub to his channel. The link is in the title. Same with Casually FC. What are you saying, my guy? I hope you're good. Hope you're good.
I'm good, man. I'm feeling positive, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually feeling positive. Yesterday was a good day out. Literally at the bridge, 5-0. Can't go wrong. And nkunku hat-trick. I'm nice, man. I'm feeling positive. I'm not going to lie.
I know it's a really good feeling because it's the first time in ages for me personally that I'm going into match days and I'm thinking, cool, bring him on, bring on whoever's next. I don't care if it's Barrow, I don't care if it's Brighton, I don't really give a damn who we're playing because I'm starting to feel confidence again. Confidence in the manager, confidence in the players, and it isn't just from the Barrow game itself. Like Barrow was Barrow, and you expect us to handle Barrow the way that we did. The main thing I took from that game was that we actually handled a lower tier team the way we're meant to handle them. Go in there, dominate, give the youth a couple minutes, flex who we are as a club, and keep it stepping. So how have you felt over the last few games, personally? Because I feel like it was a little bit of a different conversation the last time we spoke.
I'm feeling good, For me, my last time I was on here, my main challenges were I wanted to see improvement on our defense. Attacking-wise, we've always been an attacking team from last season. We know the strengths of our attack. I wanted to see some clean sheets. The fact we got back-to-back clean sheets from Fofana and Colbo was great. 3 in a row now, all comps. I don't even remember the last time we've had 3 clean sheets in a row. Hold tight, though, to make Chelsea great again crew as well. Big ups to everyone here. But in terms of 3 clean sheets in a row, I can't remember the last time we had that. I'm looking at... I'll say the Bournemouth game. That was the game for me where I was like, you know what, this is a different type of team because of the mentality. I've seen us a lot of times in that type of environment, fresh from international break, where we had some injured players. Enzo wasn't there. Injuries are there. The performance isn't great. Things aren't going our way. We give away a penalty. And you could just see it was just something different. And we managed to grind out a result. These type of environments where we're not the better team and we're winning games, this is what I expect from us as a team that wants to compete, that wants to be back at the top. This is a sign of winners because there's been so many games when we are the better team and we suffer for it. And then I looked at the West Ham game away from home now. We know about West Ham away. We ain't won in West Ham away in eons. I don't think we've even won at the London Stadium since they've moved there. Steamrolled
It was
them.
won 2017 with fans, which was like 7 years ago.
And that's, you know what's crazy? Last time we won away, we won the league. So,
you try and like throw a little title thing into the mix.
I want the title. I said it from game week 1. I want the title. As a Chelsea fan, naturally, I've always grown up just expecting the league every year. The last 2 seasons have been poor. We know that. Even the season when Bowley actually first came in, if we're being honest, we finished 3rd. We was actually looking at a decent outfit. We signed some players, we got some defenders, and it was let's win the title. Tuchel got sacked.
I'll say that we weren't good last 6 months of Tuchel. It was more like we could get the results over getting the performances in as well.
Yeah, it definitely. But we felt like it was possible to win a title with him under him.
Under him as a coach, yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. So then when he's literally come in, so when we've signed some players and things didn't work out, I mean, Potter coming in, all of that jazz. I was saying to myself, okay, this is a down year. With Pochettino coming in, once again, I wanted the title. Now, Pochettino isn't known for winning titles, but I've looked at these 2 title races with Spurs, how he had us a bit more sound defensively. Him coming in at the time, we was actually a decent side defensively, for being honest. Like, that's when Badiashile stocks were really high. We was not scoring goals, but we weren't conceding either. We got humbled last season. I'm back again as a Chelsea fan, wanting the league title. I'm looking at the way we've started, the depth that we have, the fact that we have Conference League football and the new Champions League format that the teams that are going to be competing for the title have. It's, the likes of they're facing the Inter Milans every weekend and the PSGs and all of this, and we've got teams that in Kazakhstan that we don't know, and we've got the depth. Arsenal, you see, they're going down with injuries. Man City are going down with injuries. Liverpool don't have the depth. I don't see why we can't win the title, if I'm being honest.
For me, it's just I'm not trying to put those expectations on the club just yet when nobody was even expecting us to even get around to the top 4 a month ago. Like, for me, the switch up that I've seen from so many people has been ridiculous. I use Jamie Carragher as an example. This guy's now talking about, now I see Chelsea going for top 4. A month ago, you were talking about us stockpiling players. You were talking about where's João Felix going to change. You were talking about I would have seen Chelsea in top 4 under Pochettino. Now 5 games and the things turned, and now he thinks we could go for top 4. And then I know what's going to happen if we beat Brighton and Forest. They're going to start talking about maybe Chelsea can push for the title with all these injuries to Man City and Arsenal. And for me personally, I see the long-term game. They're trying to build Chelsea up and gas up the fans, get us over and ahead of ourselves. Then when we get a bad run of form, drag us right back down and start ripping us apart again. For me, I want us to move in silence, personally. No one rated us. No one expected us to do anything. They said we're going to go right back to stage 1 of the process under a new manager. Nah. Title race, that would be for me something like January, February, personally. It's the same energy that I had when like Arsenal and Tottenham were top for long periods. If you can stay there and stay competitive for at least half or 2/3 the season, there's no reason why you can't do that for the rest. You've shown enough consistency. As of now, though, nah. Right now, I think we're showing development under Maresca, but I also think like the best idea of the manager, the best idea of the squad will always come after your first bad run of form. Because then you'll figure out what you need to change, what can change. You'll know how stubborn the manager is in the game management. As it stands for now, I just think our depth is sensational and we can use that to our advantage in the domestic cups and to conserve top 4.
Yeah, exactly. I think our depth is our biggest thing. And it's funny that all of these, even when we were signing players at the time, real Chelsea fans knew at the time we needed to sign players. It's a real lazy argument, the whole 40-man squad when we knew we had 25. Sky Sports were pushing a lot of this stockpiling players nonsense. But this is we're Chelsea that we're talking about. We've never been liked by the media. The fact that they, even at the time, were pressing on these issues and negatively talking about us, this is signs that we're doing something right. This is what a lot of people weren't realizing at the time. Now, for me, though, I'll be honest, I didn't like the idea of Maresca coming in as a novice coach, a new coach coming in, etc. That didn't sit right with me. I'll be honest. But seeing what he's done, I'm going to give credit where it's due. He's a winner. He's come to the English football. In his first season, he won a trophy. He won a league title. So he's got more league titles than Arteta already. I'm looking at that. I'm saying, okay, you know what it takes to really consistent. They play more games in the championship. Fair enough. They dropped off for the second half of the season, but you know what it takes to consistently perform at a certain level. Now, I'm
also
looking at
never dropped from top, and I think he had the best defensive record too.
Wow, I didn't even know he had the best defensive record. That's actually
I think
impressive.
he did. I'll double check.
So, and then I'm seeing that. I'm seeing already from there, and then I'm looking at, okay, now a lot of the players we have signed, not even the players that are already here, a lot of the players that we've signed have got chips on their shoulders. Felix has a lot to prove.
Yeah, he did.
Sancho has a lot to prove. Fofana coming back from injury, for me, feels like a new signing. He's got a lot to prove. Not to mention Enzo under a lot of criticism, Caicedo under a lot of criticism. Our team, top to bottom, have got chips on their shoulders. This is really make or break for them because now there's another manager coming in. There's no excuse for you not performing no more. You have to make something happen. So this is what was for me. I was looking at it. I'm saying, okay, we can do this. But why I'm really saying title push now, is for standards purposes. Because I hate the notion of us as Chelsea running around saying top 4, Top four. We've never been. We used to laugh at Arsenal for that. Top four is not a trophy. When these guys retire in 15 years, we're not going to be sitting here saying, "Oh, do you know what? Oh, remember that time we finished top four in 2024? Oh, great time." No one cares. These players are not thinking back at it when it's all said and done. You want trophies. Now, with Maresca, I've been critical of him for two things: his treatment of Ben Chilwell and
Big up, Andrew.
the backtracking. Salute, Andrew. How you doing, bro?
All right, pal.
And the backtracking for me, where he said, Sterling was very important to him, and then Sterling got binned off. I like the idea of moving in silence, but this is why the only reason why I'm going to say move in silence is because the "I told you so," "Oh, I told you," is too soon. Because after the international break, in order, I'm going to read out our next games. We got Liverpool away, we've got Newcastle at home, United away, Arsenal at home, Leicester away, Aston Villa, and Spurs. This could send us into crisis mode if this is the Chelsea that we've known for the last 2 years. This is sending us into a crisis. So when I don't want to say, Maresca, I believe in you 100%. I'll be honest, I'm very impressed with what I've seen from him, but it's too soon. And it's not me being a hater. I think I've been very critical. I mean, I've been very objective and actually giving him praise publicly. I think he tactically against West Ham, he was excellent. I've seen him adapt against Bournemouth. That's not his style of football. We played in their way and we won the game. So there's credit where it's due. I see the Wolves game, in my opinion, I think he resorted back to Poch tactics in that second half and was getting them in transition. That's okay. We were winning the games. But honestly speaking, how many points do we see ourselves getting from this run from October 20th?
The problem is we had a similar run. We had a similar run last year under Poch, if you remember. It was like, do you remember? And we drew against Arsenal, where everyone was like, "Yeah," but then we got dunked on by Brentford the next game. Do you know what I mean? It was like that. I mean, I don't count the Spurs game because we always dunk on them, so I'll rule them out already. We just own them.
Oh, so they self-destructed in front of our eyes.
Yeah, but we own them. I don't consider them a threat. The Liverpool games, right after international break. Now, I'll tell you right now, everyone's criticising Arsenal, their defensive football. I will take a stinky point away from Anfield right now. Do you know what I mean? The way our record is, I would take it right now. Take it right now. Our record at Old Trafford is rubbish. We haven't won there in 11 years, but I was that was the game last year when I just cracked when we lost to that stinky Man United team under the.
That's when I realized these players aren't as good as I thought they were.
Because Bournemouth dunked on Man United 3-0 at home.
Right after we lost them. So I want to beat them. The Aston Villa game is that home? Is that home?
Oh wait, no, I think it's home.
Yeah, I think that's at home.
Newcastle game. We got a pretty good record at home to Newcastle overall, no matter who our manager is. I don't know how. Everyone looks at Newcastle. Oh, Newcastle! I've watched them play like every game this season. I think they stink. I think that Fulham game they lost was what they should have been losing their entire games. That's what they should be. But we got to mix it up with probably the next round of the League Cup and I think a couple of Conference League games. So
the Newcastle games after Panathinaikos away.
Yeah, so that would be
a week off in United.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting how he uses the squad and everything. But I think what it is that while I'm apprehensive about the run, I'm not as apprehensive as I was last year. If you understand what I'm saying, last year when I was approaching that run, because of the way we started, and I think we had that measly 3-0 win over Luton at home, which was, we played rubbish that game. I don't care what anyone says. We were against Luton, we were rubbish. But I don't know, maybe it's just the way the manager comes across with his, I don't think it's arrogance, but just maybe confidence. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just the way some players are playing. Not everyone's playing perfect, but I also think that I think he's trying to create a spine as well. If you notice it, if you want to count goalkeeper, fine. So you got Sanchez. I think you got Sanchez, Colwell, Cucurella, right? You've got Caicedo and maybe Enzo if you want to count him, but you got then Palmer and Jackson, right?
Yeah.
The wingers sort of at the moment. The wingers sort of are switching because he's not got a settled side yet. But he sort of it's sort of seeing a spine be correct. Hopefully Lavia stays fit and then he can be added to that spine. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then we can see a spine like that. And we haven't. When's the last time we had a spine like under, like a proper spine, like a nothing's getting through a spine? Maybe
Tuchel, really.
Yeah, Tuchel.
He's actually getting confidence in those players in there as well. Like we've seen Sanchez improve this season. We've seen Colwell improve this season. Jackson's improved. Enzo had a better game against West Ham. Caicedo's just been Caicedo. So you're starting to see them all develop in the spine as well. Like,
yeah, I mean,
as of right now, it is early days. I hear that. But with the same breath, like, these are the sorts of games that we struggled in last season. Bournemouth, we were protecting the point. We lost at West Ham. We lost at Wolves. Now we got results in all 3 of those games.
Yeah, at 1 point last season, it's 9 points this season. It's only 2 goals conceded.
I really want to see how he handles the big games, though, because fair enough, Man City game was a bit early on, but the last 2 times we faced Man City in the league, we took the game to them. In my opinion, I think it was the better team both times.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they steamrolled us, but we
should have beaten them in the FA Cup final as well. Should have beaten them in the FA Cup
final. In the semi-final as well. Yeah. But I feel like we played that game like we were showing them a lot, too much respect, in my opinion.
I agree.
We didn't play like look at them the way we're playing these days. Fair enough, it was very early on, so I do take that with a pinch of salt. But we played with a lot of respect. Are we going into the Liverpool games or Arsenal games with the same sense, or are we gonna go to them as peers, or look at them like they're inferior to us? That's what I would like. We're gonna really find out about our squad next month. But I have a question for you guys. What do you think? Because we're all in agreement here that there's an improvement so far from last season. But what exactly is it all on Maresca, you'd say, or have the players actually improved as well?
Do you remember what he said after West Ham, CB? Did you see his interview after West Ham on TNT Sports?
When he was like, if they don't want to play.
Yeah, they said, are they buying in? Well, if they're not buying in, they're not playing. Yeah, I don't truly believe that. I truly believe if they're not buying in, because look at the substitutions he makes at half time sometimes during the game. If someone's not playing well, he hooks them. Look what he said about. Look what he said. I know Mudryk played just said, but look what he said about Mudryk on Monday. He basically said, "Misha is Misha." Now that translates to me as, I don't know if I can improve this guy. Do you know what I mean? He's just I don't know. I'm just going to let him do what he did. And fair enough to Mudryk. It was against Barrow, so we'll take it with a pinch of salt, but he did okay. But I just think there's, and he takes, what he does is he takes ownership this season. If someone's not playing well, he won't throw him under the bus, he call him out. If we didn't play well, he'll say we didn't play well, or what we need to do to get better. So last season under Poch, it was just a bunch of excuses or something like this, or
just throwing the players under the bus every time.
Or CB, we started Sassi at Bournemouth, didn't start against West Ham, so he's learning. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's learning not to play Sassi at right back. And funny that Sassi did come on and play right back West Ham, but that game we were so in control. I saw Sassi do a 360 on the sideline. You know, that's how much we were in control of that game. It's ridiculous, but I think he knows this is a big opportunity for him. Do you know what I mean? And he's not going to let. Maybe against Man City he did a bit, but I think he's learning from that. And he's not going to let it slide, because I think he thinks that no matter what the opposition is, we have to play as if we're playing against like the prime teams or every game, or we have to try and do that, because we know this top 4 race, and at the moment we should be in the top 4 race. I'm not one of these guys that we're back after beating Barrow. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a Man United fan who said it after.
Show me some armpits.
Yeah, back. I believe. Listen, I believe. Side note: if we got Osimhen, I believe we should finish 4th no matter what. If we got Osimhen, because he's prolific. But I think we're in a battle for 4th at this moment in time with the other teams. But I just think this, like you said, this run, we're going to find out who's the phony tough and who's the crazy brave, and that includes the manager as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That includes the manager as well. He's got. I hope he doesn't overthink things. I hope he doesn't look past any opponents, even Spurs. I hope he doesn't even look past Spurs. You know what I mean? I hope he just goes one game at a time. This is our main focus. We've got the cup games at the Conference League, but I should be able to rotate and beat no matter who's in the Conference League. Do you know what I mean? Whoever we rotate to, they should be able to beat in the Conference League. But really take it one game at a time, and we'll see where we are. We see where we are by early December. If we come out of there and we're like, okay, maybe there's going to be one defeat somewhere, possibly away to like Liverpool or something like that. Do you know what I mean? If we come out with the rest of the games, mostly wins, a couple of draws, or even if we come out undefeated, a couple of draws, mostly wins, then I think that really gears him up for the second half of the season to go, we just went through, we smell like smoke because we've been through fire, basically, with this run, yeah? And you guys are still standing. Now let's crush all the weaker teams ahead of us and get absolutely settled in the top four, whether it's fourth or beyond. But let's get so much settled that no one talks about top four race because we've got it. No one's chasing us. No one's gonna get past us. Let's be so consolidated in top four that we can focus on the cups. Let's win some cups as well while getting top four. Why should it be either or? Do you know what I mean? Why should it be
because now you mention it, look at this run after we deal with Tottenham.
I want to win the League
Look at
Cup,
the run
man.
that we have.
Yeah.
Like after Spurs is Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, and
It's
Wolves.
the title
before we
charge.
face
This
Man
is the
City.
title charge right in front of us. This is what I'm saying. I think if we get through this next month, yeah, I will take dropped point. I will take a loss against Liverpool. I'll take drop points against United. And at worst case, I really want to beat Arsenal, especially just to avenge that 5-0 at home,
Same.
especially the last home game we had. I really want to beat Arsenal, but I will take a draw at Arsenal, a draw away at United, and maybe a loss at Liverpool. And we handle the rest of our games. We handle these games. I don't see why we're not in the top three, in the top two, top three, the end of the season.
Well, here's the
I'm
thing.
telling you.
This run, I think Chelsea fans will be more forgiving if there are drop points. Obviously, context matters, right? Context matters, right? If we're 3-0 against like Villa and then drop 3, that's not acceptable. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. Do you know what I mean? But you're right. And then if we get through this, it's like, okay, we've just been through the hardest teams. Last year we played okay against the hardest teams. It was these type of teams that we dropped more points in. Let's remedy this. Let's clear up. This Christmas schedule is going to be crazy. By like early January, let's see where we are. How many points we got by the third round of the FA Cup in early January. Then that really sets us up. Do we then look in the January window and go, do we need to add anything to get us over the line? Do you know what I mean? Do we need to add a striker? Do you know what I mean? Because Jackson's on there, something like maybe we don't need to add it. Do we need to add another centre back? Do you know what I mean? Do we need to do this and this just to get us over the line? I want to win I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says, whether they clip me. I want to win the League Cup. I like the League Cup. I want to win it. I want to win the FA Cup.
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
win
with you.
I want to win. I want to win everything I can. It's not about overhyping. Oh, you won the Cup. Cups add to your trophy totals. Why don't people get this? Why don't people get this? It adds to your trophy.
The squad needs to learn what it's like to win.
Look at all the finals we've lost in the last 5 years. Can you imagine if we'd won at least half of those cups? We'd be well over Arsenal's total. Do you know what I mean?
We would have equaled it because we've lost our last 6 finals at Wembley in a row.
No, I think we'd be over it by 4. I think we'd be over it by 4 because they count charity shields. I don't. I don't count charity shields.
I think it's 6 without the charity shields. I think.
Okay,
whatever.
We'd be close, and then the argument would just be, yeah, well, we've won more league titles, and then we'd just say we destroyed them in Europe, and that's the only argument they have. But what I mean
we
is
win the Conference League, and we add that and go above them.
But we've seen it. Right? And I know what people say, and they don't. But Jose Mourinho has said, even Pep Guardiola said it. Winning something early for a group of players can change their mentality into wanting to win more things. We saw it under Mourinho twice. His first League Cup. Although, okay, we were probably going to win the league anyway, but it got the winning mentality in. The second group, they hadn't won as a group. They've just been put together. Let's win this. This is what Guardiola.
Happen City.
What do you think there's a reason why Guardiola won 4 League Cups in a row? It's to get the mentality into to that squad to win more leagues. Now he doesn't really, because they win leagues, you know what I mean, back to back. So the League Cup's fallen for him. But get me the League Cup, get me the FA Cup. I want to win. I don't care. I want our guys to, when they're retired, have problems with their shoulders because they've lifted too many trophies. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't understand this. Like, top 4 to probably getting the Champions League. I don't want to be like an Arsenal fan and go, yeah, at least win the Champions League. I love to hear that song. I couldn't care less about that Champions League song. I want to win it. When I'm in the Champions League, I expect Chelsea to win it. That's what I want.
You got to do both. Do both. Like the one thing that we've noticed over the last few weeks is that our depth is ridiculous, and because we're in the Conference League, we can literally have 2 separate teams. It's like doing 1 game a week again.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, like our players should be a lot more fitter, especially going into the Christmas break, where we're going to be dealing with a bit more of an influx of fixtures.
Right.
I generally think it's all going to benefit us. The Conference League, you have an entire B team that you have dominate that league. The League Cup is just dependent on opposition, but with the depth that we have, we should be competitive in that unless we buck into a Man City or something, for example. But just in terms of the whole league title thing, because I did see the Final Whistle podcast, big up to Javon as well. We got a show on his channel coming up soon. He said, Kalmar, one game at a time, next season maybe, in terms of contending for the title. Because I wanted to bring it back to something that you said, CB, about I don't want us to be like Arsenal celebrating top four like a trophy.
Yeah.
I think the difference with that was like, it got into a point with them where it was just top four, no development, no upgrades, no progression, just constant top four. For me, top four this season means next season there's no excuses and we should be contending immediately, because that's what progression is. We should have been fourth last season, didn't get it, and I believe that was down to Pochettino. We would have got that with a better coach with the Carabao Cup. Then we could have been contending this season. Now we're back to stage one where we've got to get ourselves back into Champions League as a minimum. And we might be able to look a little bit higher. I think it's a little bit too early to say. But for now, the target should still be top four. And then next season, you go and contend for the league title.
No, I completely understand. See, me with my realistic hat on, understand top four, it makes sense. Next season, yeah, we're going to build on the squad. We're going to probably get rid of some players. We still didn't really address the striker situation. I still feel like we need another centre back, stuff like that.
Goalkeeper probably as well.
Yeah, in the way things are looking as well, maybe even a right back, because what's going on over there?
Yeah,
but the fact we're still seeing this Sassi playing right back is crazy. But I'm just looking at things. As a Chelsea fan, I think things in life, good things come in threes. The first Italian gaffer we had was Ancelotti. First season, we won the title. Second, the first time, well, not the first gaffer, we had Ranieri, but we had Ancelotti. First time we won the title. Second time, Conte, first season, won the title. Even with Conte, why the Conte one stands out to me, and this is what I don't like about the whole, everyone is using Poch as the benchmark. Poch, at the end of the day, wasn't great for us. So using Poch as the benchmark and the comparison isn't really doing much. Compare it to Conte, he took over a team who were 10th place in the league the year before. He came, we didn't start the best, we did drop some points, we did lose a couple big games, and he went 16 unbeaten and we won the title. We also had one game a week. At this time, like you said, Lewis, it's like we have one game a week now because we're playing Conference League with our second
Don't you think that's a different quality of squad? Because here's the thing, I look at that 15-16 season, I think something must have went down with Mourinho because their form instantly just clicked back into life as soon as he was gone. And the year before that, they won the league title being top every single match day. So, I'm not really surprised that they went back and they end up contending and winning a league title the season afterwards. This team, they still need to build themselves up to that point. That's why I'm not really putting the expectations onto them yet, unless they literally show that form for half a season or 2/3 of it. Then it's like you've done it for long enough, you can keep it going for a little bit longer.
Do you know what I see with this Chelsea team so far, the way it's cooked things, even just the way the rest of the league is looking, it's really reminded me of Arteta's first title race with Chelsea, with Arsenal. Not last season's one, the season before when Saliba got injured, where they were just expecting top four. They did not. They started the season strong. They kept winning their games. The players they put together, they hit the ground running immediately. Gabriel Jesus was on form. Zinchenko was making sense. They started inverting. They bought into the system. He brought in these players that bought into the system, and they hit the ground running straight away. They weren't dropping points, and they kept going. That's what I'm seeing with us. I've noticed, for example,
I hear that.
Arsenal, I'm not, in my opinion, this could be just me being a hater. I don't think Arsenal are the same Arsenal they were the last 2 years, especially that season I'm referring to. Yeah, I look at the way they don't create chances no more. The fact that in terms of the way they just look going forward, if it's not set pieces, nothing's really going on. Odegaard's gone down. It's looking like they're getting quite a few injuries. They're playing in Champions League football under this new format, which is basically another league. They're not playing, it's not cup football anymore with the Champions League. It's a league. They don't have the depth to handle that. I'm looking at them and I'm saying, I don't know. I've seen Rodri and KDB just go down. Obviously, Man City have done this before. KDB's missed the last chunk of the season before. They've won the league. Last season, Haaland missed a lot of the season. They won the league. So I expect them to still be there. They know what it takes to win. They've got that DNA. But I think we can knock on that door, definitely. I look at Liverpool, once again, it's a depth situation, and I'm just looking at Liverpool. They've started a bit strong, but are they really the same team that they were under Klopp? Even under the last couple of years under Klopp, they were still dropping off. They weren't really there. I'm seeing us as, I think we can fill that void. I'm not saying I expect to win the title right now, but I do want to be there. I think it's very possible in terms of what we've got going on. I don't see, and the fact that we still haven't played with our best 11 all season. Reece James has been injured. Lavia's injured. People we're chopping and chewing the squad. This isn't even us at our best. I don't see why not.
I hear it. But go on, Andrew. Go on.
No, you also got to remember that Conte team. Yeah, we had almost all the squad left, but he switched to a back three and wing backs. You know what I mean? We were Alonso and had come in, and Moses had been come back from Siberia to play right wing back. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those things. But no, I understand what CB's saying, especially what we said earlier. If we come out of the run after the international break and we're not too damaged, do you know what I mean? Like, we're not points wise, we've actually picked up more than probably what people saying. I can see the squad getting more confident. Do you know what I mean? That's Maresca's job. I mean, like CB said, you can say that, yeah, we've not had our best team because Lavia and Reece James, Gusto have been out and stuff like that. But look at the front three as well. We've not got a real settled front three. I mean, we might have a settled 3 out of 4. Sorry, 4. We might have settled 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4, possibly 2 with Jackson and Palmer. But the wings are switching. I mean, Madueke started this, from Wolves, and I think his fizz has run out a bit. We'll probably give Neto a chance to run now on that right hand side. Do you know what I mean? Sancho on the left hand side, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think he's got them. If he can just get, like he said, if he can just get them to buy in. If you can get players to buy in, they'll run through brick walls for you. Do you know what I mean? If they believe in what you're coaching them and telling them, they'll run through brick walls for you. Obviously, his coaching is a lot different from Poch because, and luckily at the moment we've only picked up the regular injuries like with James and Lavia and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just get them to buy in. If you can get them to buy in, that these guys will do anything. If you can create a siege mentality. That's what probably Arteta's doing at Arsenal, a siege mentality. Everyone's against us. If you get them even believing that, they'll become possessed. You know what I mean?
100%.
It sounds like he's already doing it because we saw the quotes before the Barrow game. He said, I asked the young players we have and all the others send a clear message that we are young and that we are serious. And he's been fighting back with a lot of the narratives that have already been put about the squad and the stockpiling and all of that. So, I think he's already trying to build that siege mentality himself. My whole thing with the whole title race was that even with Arsenal, for example, I refuse to acknowledge them as title contenders until around January, February, just because like we are right now, we're a bit of an unknown entity, same thing as them. So I'm not even trying to talk down the idea that we could be title contenders. Fact is, we're in good form. We're cooking. It's under a new manager. Anything could happen. It's just I don't want to hold them up to expectations for it to be seen as a failure if they don't reach it this early in the season.
Can you just bring JC's comments up? I just want to respond to
sure.
The last one. So here's the thing. Last night it was a complete 11 change. It wasn't 11 changes where it's 11 youth team players. It's basically effectively part of those squad. Those guys have got to put in good performances to put it in the manager's mind whether they were going to be part of the next team. Do you know what I mean? They're all even just on the bench. I think he's got them even just challenging each other just to make it to the bench, especially the front attacking players. No one can have an off night. No one can have an off game. Do you know what I mean? No one can do that. No one can do that. So this is what I'm doing. He has to. If he was just going, yeah, just do what you want, you wouldn't sometimes get some of these performances. You'll get them slack. Last night, if we had another manager, say I'm going to pick on, but say Poch was in charge. I don't know. We beat Barrow 5-0.
No, you know what I mean? Look at the Wimbledon game.
Maybe beat them 2-0. Do you know what I mean? But it'd be a sloppy 2-0. Or previous managers
with one bad half like Preston.
If he is leaving the door open saying, I haven't got really a settled 11, then he's making them think there's a chance for anyone to get in this team. Do you know what I mean? That's what you need to do.
And just to piggyback on what you guys were saying about the siege mentality, Look at the way Jackson has responded to criticism from even the Mikel when he scored the first time, when he first scored earlier and he sent for Mikel. Even just seeing, okay, now he had a poor game against Bournemouth. Everyone's questioning, do you deserve to start, etc., etc. He's come in, 2 goals. He's even he's even doing a Michael Jackson dance.
Yeah,
he's even having fun with you can see. And then on top of that, he knows he can't afford to play badly now because not only were we about to buy another striker, nkunku's on form too. And that can change. He can get dropped in any minute. I'm looking at that's what really upset me with Madueke. Sorry to talk about some negatives, but the West Ham game when we were through on goal and he had the opportunity to lay it.
We had Neto on the right hand side,
and he's just shot. And I'm thinking, why would you do that knowing that there's 2 other 3 players that are good enough to take your position? Because really and truly, other than the Wolves game, I don't think he's been playing that well.
Yeah, I agree. I think their performance is
having the opportunity to start against West Ham. I think that was him. That was Maresca really giving him another chance. And then him doing that, I'm thinking, okay, you're definitely getting benched on Saturday.
Enzo's given him a lot of faith this season, to be fair.
He has. But I've noticed a trend when it comes to him that when he's not under pressure, he does whatever he wants. When he knows, okay, I might get dropped or I've been dropped and I need to try and get myself back into the squad, that's when you see the best in him. I don't know why it's like that. Same with the Wolves game because he came on off the bench against Servette. He wasn't in the squad for City. Came off the bench for Servette, first leg, scored. That's when he done the whole, you want to sell me? And then he scores a hat-trick next game. We're thinking, whoa. Everyone immediately nailed on starter. You're nailed on starter. All these predicted 11s, nailed on starter. Now he's in his head like, it's like the complacency's come back. We can't afford the
I do think he was good against Palace. I know, Andrew, we've disagreed about that one. But overall... Second half, yeah. When they dropped to a low block, he struggled a lot more. I think
everyone goes on about Jackson's miss. His miss was more criminal in the first half.
His miss was
on his left foot. He had the whole of the goal to shoot at and just curl it in. His shot against Palace, it wasn't even a curl shot. It was a straight shot, which is worse than an actual curling shot. If it's a curl shot, you can tell. But he had the whole goal on his left foot. On his left foot, by the way, not his weak right foot. On his left foot to score that and make it 2-1. Second half, he stunk. I agree. Neto didn't even play. I know we're managing Neto's minutes, probably why. Neto didn't even play a full 90 last night. I'd like to see Neto given a shot now on the right hand side.
Especially on the right.
Like. Yeah, especially the right, yeah. And he looked like I know it's against Barrow, so take it with a pinch of salt. There was some good understanding with Gusto on that yesterday, but I just think they're good players, so they'll probably link up good anyway. Do you know what I mean? But let's give them a shot. These are winnable games against Brighton. Brighton play a high line. They play a very high line, Brighton do. So and Nottingham Forest, I know they've started well. But I think we should revenge our defeat to them at home and then sign off the international break well. But no, I agree.
That's going to be a much bigger test for us out of the 2 matches.
Yeah,
Forest, because that's going to be a straight low block, and it'll be interesting to see how we handle that one.
Well, I think this low block thing sort of because I think Palace tried to play a bit of a low block in the first half, and we sort of battered them. We just couldn't finish.
No, because we had a lot of transitional moments against them in the first half. Second half, we had nothing.
Yeah. I think with our options, there shouldn't be any excuses even against a low block now this season.
No, not even
exactly.
excuses. It's more like I'm interested to see how we handle that game.
I'm just saying, unlike last season, the options now this season are like far better. Last season we were bringing on Mudryk or Sterling. Do you know what I mean? We couldn't. They weren't going to do anything this season. If Sancho starts and Neto starts, all right, they may not be doing anything. Felix, whatever I think about Felix, it doesn't matter, or nkunku on or Madueke. It's just different. It's just different options. That's the thing now. We now look at the bench and we don't go, who is that? Do you know what I mean? Who's that guy?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Even like, I thought what was great last night, Achimpong came on, Tariq George came on. Tariq George, missed that sitter right in the second half to grab his first
I like
goal.
that he was making chances for himself.
I like
it. He can really create his own shots, though. I actually like that.
Yeah, he was very good. But I just think it's just the options. These games coming up, I'd really like to see the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge as well. It's a bit, I would like to see a bit better. You know what I mean?
Feel like it's slowly coming back, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Gallagher. I don't want to hear Gallagher's name. I don't want to hear Gallagher's name being sung at all. Do you know? He's gone now. Let's leave him. He's gone. He's doing well at Atletico Madrid. So good on him. But let's see what we do because. I think the fans at home, especially at home, need to get used to this type of football as well. Do you know what I mean? We're not used to this real type of football, really. Do you know what I mean? We used to, just bulldozing our way through teams usually. Do you know what I mean? Physically and stuff like that. It's just getting used to the build up and stuff like that. But early goals will help. Score early.
I think with this team here now, I don't know if it's the manager or it's the depth that we have available to us. But what's really surprised me with him is how well he adapts to our opponents. That's something that I was very worried about when we first had him, because of just the De Zerbi type of manager, when they have their system, you have to play this specific system. If you don't buy in, I was expecting, okay, there's no plan B. I see Ange, you know what I mean? There's no plan B. With him, it doesn't seem that way. So I don't know if it's actually because of the depth that we have available to us. For example, if we were facing a low block, we put nkunku up there. He's shifty around the box. Same with Sancho. They can move things around, create space. Or is it generally his system and what he's building? Or maybe a bit of both. But
remember CB in the summer, we were told, it's touchline wingers, always touchline wingers. And I always felt, that was Leicester in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? He's got to do what he's got to do. The Championship's the toughest league to get out of. Do you know what I mean? He had to do what he had to do. Let's face it. The Leicester squad he had in Championship and our squad may as well be in different multiverses. Do you know what I mean? It's just not the same as in terms of quality. Do you know what I mean? It's just different. That's what I mean. Look at the way he talks about Jadon Sancho. Leicester would never think of having a player like Jadon Sancho. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't even dream of signing a player like Jadon Sancho. So this touchline winger thing, sure, he may have one, but I don't believe he'll play like two, because I don't think it works in the Premier League, two touchline wingers. I don't think it works. I think he can get away with one at the best, but two. But like he said, he's got different options on the bench. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's not working. Okay, I'm going to move Palmer to the right and bring Felix on, or bring nkunku on, or start Maresca. Or it's just different. Last season was just, looking back, that second half of the season where we were so lucky, those players that he basically Poch flogged because he had no other options on the bench, didn't get more injuries. Do you know what I mean? We're just fortunate. If Jackson's having an off game, like against Bournemouth, I'm going to take him off. I'm going to bring nkunku on. He's going to score. Stuff like that. It's just different. It's a different vibe this season. Of course, we're treading carefully. We'll say we're back just to make people laugh. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, but I'm looking forward to watching Chelsea more now than I have been the past 2-3 years. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it. I'm not now going, I have to do a Chelsea preview this week. Do you know what I mean? I'll like a preview and go,
I'll be on this.
I'll make up some excuses why I don't want to be on a panel to discuss Chelsea where everyone's just laughing at me.
Tell me about
it. You know what
I mean? Because I started making content because Chelsea content at the time, because I felt like the situation we were in was very dark. A lot of the people, when I would tune into the terrace a lot of the time, it'd be Don, who are good people, was I love him to bits, but he's deluded. And it's, trust the process. Oh, no, this. And I had to just, get out my frustrations a lot. But a lot of people, you would assume now that I'm part of the Rory Jennings hive, who I don't want us to do well, and I'm running an agenda, or I'm negative, or that's not the case. A lot. I love my club. I want us to be successful. A lot of these players that I'm critical of, whether it's Enzo or Mudryk, etc., I would love for them to prove me wrong. If Mudryk had a 30 goal in the league season, you think I wouldn't be happy for him? Like this is what it is for me. But now I'm seeing where we're going. I'm seeing a lot of positive. I'm seeing a lot of great things happening. I am a bit more positive. I am saying, okay, we could actually potentially try go for the title. I need to see this run. This run for me makes or breaks everything. At the moment, guys, I'm buzzing. That's why I've got my little buzz ball here. I'm going to sip it for you guys here.
Which flavour is that?
I got the Porn Star Martini. I ain't even seen this one before. I was actually kind of surprised. That's right, full of
that'll be my personal choice. I ain't had one of those before, but I see everyone trying them now.
CTV, there's a difference between negative and critiquing. That's what people don't understand, right? Mm-hmm. You can critique people, doesn't mean you're negative about them. Do you know what I mean? If you're a fan, I can't call you a fan if you're not, if no matter what you think of the player, as soon as they cross that white line, if you're not supporting them the entire game. Do you know what I mean? No matter how you feel about them as a player. I don't like Mudryk, right? But you better believe as soon as he crosses that white line, if he starts with us, I'm hoping he has the best game of his life. Fact. You know what I mean? That's
Same
what I
with
don't
me,
get.
Mount, Havertz, Gallagher, all of them. Lot.
Yeah. But I'm not. But on the opposite end, we're all not like toxic positives. You're like, oh, everything's great. We just, we do lollipops and rainbows and stuff like that. We've got to have a dose of realism. People might think when we're a bit mad, we're talking about a title race. We're talking about in terms of but we're also talking about in terms of let's see where we are after this set of games. Do you know what I mean? We're not like talking right now with 5 games in. That would be a bit foolish of us to do so, but because we got on paper we got a hard run coming up. We're talking about let's see where we are after these games, because the games after that on paper, the way we've been playing, we should win those games. We're favourites in all those games, whether it's home or away. We have to be. And let's see where we
100%.
Why is it okay for Arsenal to go from 8th to 5th to challenge? But because I was on a panel today, it was like, I was watching the panel going, well, why can't Chelsea do that? And people were like, nah.
This is what I'm saying.
Some Arsenal fans are doing it well. Some Arsenal fans are doing it well. It's like, hello. Look at you. We're talking about literally what you just did. You went from 5th, where no one thought you were going to be into a title race 2 years in a row.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Because they finished. We need to remember we were 5 points off top 4. Fair enough, we finished 6th. Even then, we finished 6th. Why can't I feel like we can challenge when Arsenal finished 5th and they're not even a winning team? They don't have winning ethos. They don't. There's no stars on their badge at the end of the day. We're winners. We've been winners. We're consistent winners. So why can't we, after finishing 6th, try and challenge when they went 5th and they challenged a year after? I really want us, because this is the first time in a while, a couple of weeks now, that I've actually been around just a stream of Chelsea fans. You see this run that we're about to be on, because we're going to be back. Now all of us really know it's only a matter of when, but we're aware that we're going to be back.
You're making Chelsea great again, then.
Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, United, City, Liverpool, even Brighton giving it the big, and Spurs, all the people that laughed at their downfall. Trust me, the way we're about to be back, the way we're about to be unbearable, lock in. I'm telling you now. Lock in. Even the media, you're seeing a lot of Sky Sports talking shit. And fair enough, Rory Jennings is there with Carragher talking shit. This is nothing, because when we're back, they're going to find every excuse under the sun for why we're not meant to be where we're meant to be. They're going to say we spent £1 billion. Oh, we have so many players. Oh, what did you
expect you to be contending.
Exactly. We expect you to win the league. What do you expect? You spent £1 billion. Trust me, we're about to be back. We got Brighton next weekend. You know the way they were talking about Caicedo when his first couple runs were? You saw how they were talking shit. Now Caicedo's with Rodri down. I'm going to go out there and say, I'll put my neck on the line. That's the best midfielder in the league. We're about to smoke them. And I don't even care for Brighton, but the fact that we dropped so low that Brighton felt like they can talk to us, they will pay for it. Arsenal put 5 past us, they're going to pay for it. Trust me, we're going to be back. I'm telling you now, it's just a matter of when. And when we do, as a fan base, prepare for us to be unbearable. I can't even...
Not even prepare. Take part. Take 100%. Part. I'm trying to empower the entire fan base. These lot acted like we were a finished institution. These lot acted like we were dead and buried. If we get anywhere, if we get to a trophy before any of these lot, make it fucking infuriating for them. Because man, like Arsenal, for example, don't let Todd Bowley's Chelsea get to a trophy before Arsenal. It's going to get very uncomfortable very quickly. Liverpool, these lot have had the most to say about us and everybody else. Sorry, Andrew, go for it.
As I say, don't make it also a multiple trophy season either. Because if it's a multiple trophy season, even if you're adding the Conference League to it, I'll be shameless because I'll say we've won every single cup there is to win. There's no other team that's done that.
Exactly.
We're the only team. We're the only team.
Madrid.
Exactly. We're the only team that can win all the possible trophies that we can enter. We're the only. That's the only. We're the only team that can do that. And Real Madrid, well, probably. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just don't. Do you know what I mean? And I'm glad. And do you know what? I want to be hated again. I hate this. Oh no, Chelsea! I want to be hated. I want to be hated. I want to be hated. I'm so glad Caicedo's playing well because you know what's not being mentioned? His price tag is not being mentioned at all. Since like last third of last season into this season, nothing. He's getting his flowers and in two right too. I don't. Do you know what? Bring up his price tag. He's worth it. He's worth 115 million pounds to me. That's what he's worth it. He's like Cante, but he doesn't smile.
Remember the narrative about second season Palmer and how he's going to do away from Poch's system and all of that, and he's still getting goals and assists. Apparently, Jackson and Palmer are statistically the best partnership in the league now.
You know what the scariest thing though is? I don't even think Palmer's playing that well.
Exactly. I'm so happy you said that.
West Ham, he was getting double marked, fouled all the time, and he still bagged.
He did not play well against West Ham. He scored, but he did not play well against West Ham. The only game I think he's really played well is the second half against Wolves, and maybe the first bit against Palace in the first half. But he is not even playing well. I'm telling you right now. That's the great thing. That he is still putting up numbers, but we're not relying on him that much. Do you know what I mean? It's like last season it was all Cole Palmer. If Chelsea got injured, I feel where Cole Palmer was. Okay. Now
I sent you something on Twitter. Yeah, if you can put this on the screen for me, it's about Caicedo's comparison of Caicedo defensively with Declan Rice, because I don't think you guys understand how well he started the season. As a fan base, we're not giving him his flowers as much. It's defensively and going forward. Defensively, here you can see he's got 2 clean sheets. We got more clean sheets than Arsenal. I didn't even know that.
He's got 1 tackle.
Declan Rice has got 1 tackle this season. Caicedo on 11, 1, 21 made.
Wow.
No last man digit, 6 clearances, 5 headed clearances, 6 aerial duels, 1. No errors leading to a goal. He has been exceptional, and that's just defensively. Not to mention going forward, he's got assists. He's got an assist this season. He's created chances going forward. This is the best midfielder in the league this season. Now with Rodri going down, it's not even going to be debatable. The season that he's happening right now, I am chuffed to bits, because a lot of people were giving it the big gun all year, even during the summer. Because in my opinion, I think Caicedo's been good since the December last year. But no one.
Me too.
He was getting grouped a lot with Enzo.
That's fair.
He was getting grouped a lot with Enzo, and the price tag talk. It was very lazy analysis. No one was actually talking about how well he's actually been playing. Now, as a fan base, we're winning games. We're allowed to be annoying. When you're not winning games and you have players that are being good. Someone said to me the other day that a couple of weeks ago, I was in the pub, West Ham fans. These men said to me, what's the difference between Palmer's season last season and Payet or even Clint Dempsey at Fulham? Because when you're a mid-table team, you've got a player that's doing well and you're not winning games, this is how you get disrespected. Now that we're winning games, you can start saying stuff like Caicedo's the best in the league. You can start saying stuff like Palmer is one of the best right wingers in the league. You can't say this when we're not winning games. We're actually back now. So this is once you do this and we start rallying around our players, I'm seeing a lot of togetherness, like the way we're unified as a fan base lately. I haven't seen
a lot less player FC this season. A lot less player FC. A lot less player FC.
I don't think we're as united as we make it out to be. Like, it's starting to get a little bit better. We remember what it was like the first few games of the season. The players were getting booed 20 minutes into the Man City game. Anytime Dewsbury Hall gives away the ball, they're doing up the Gallagher chant. They're moaning about the midfield that we have and letting the likes of Chalobah and Gallagher, even complaining about the way we're treating Sterling when everybody wanted Sterling gone. I don't think we've united it just yet, but I think we're on the path for that.
I think a lot of that was very early into the season, because the season did start toxic, a lot of booing at home. The Conor Gallagher chance at the Servette game with Dewsbury Hall and so forth. Yeah. That is fair. Moving forward, I think from the Wolves game onwards, Palace wasn't great, but I don't even think it was that bad after Palace. From the Wolves games moving forward, in fact, I'll say from Bournemouth, since we've been back from the international break, I have not seen this fan. But even the agenda merchants they're forcing stuff. Oh, get him sacked because he didn't start at Chempong or George. Okay, brought him on. So there's nothing much you can really say these days in terms of there's no agendas to push. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is winning games, which is what I've been saying for the whole of last season. All of the agendas, all the arguments, whether it's Play FC, whether it's the ownership, whether it's this and that, all you got to do is win, and it's over. Just win. We all support the club for a reason. If we're all happy and we're winning games, what's there to complain about? For me, the only complaint that I have for Chelsea so far, because things can change. I'm not saying this is my strong stance for now, but there's the only things I have to complain about. Reece James get fit. Lavia, what's going on? Yeah. These are the 2 things for me. The Sassi at right back, that experiment is over. Thank God. I'd rather Fofana at right back. But other than that, and Madueke stopped being inconsistent. Let's stop the complacency. Other than that, I'm actually happy with everything that's happening. Now, if I was to talk about the directors, I felt like we needed a striker. I think right now we ain't suffering the consequences of that. So what can I really say? I don't want to complain. I don't need to.
I think another striker is just like consolidate top four and you have someone who you go with for a title soon.
Yeah, 100%. But now, because of the system, though, could you argue? Now, I'm a very strong advocate of those of you that follow me on Twitter. I'm a strong advocate of Gyökeres. I've been a Gyökeres fan since he was at Coventry. I even wanted him instead of Jackson that summer that we signed Jackson and Gyökeres went to Sporting. But I'd really want us to sign Gyökeres. I didn't really want Osimhen that much. But let's actually be just playing devil's advocate here. This system, nkunku hugging the touchline and doing the left wing shifts or right wing shifts. We saw him at right wing hugging touchline against Crystal Palace. It wasn't pretty.
It didn't. Yeah.
Him as a striker, as a second striker option, actually seems like it makes sense as long as he stays fit, though.
Well, he said it in the conference, didn't he, Maresca, when they asked him about his option. He said striker was nkunku, Jackson, right wings Neto and Madueke, tens are Felix and Palmer, left is Sancho and Mudryk. Now, I don't think we'll see Mudryk in the League Cup and the Conference League unless there's an injury crisis. I don't think we'll see Mudryk at all in the league or anything like that. But he said it out. He said it out unless it's like unless it's like an emergency or an injury thing. I don't think you're going to see Nkunku wide. Anymore.
I don't think we should either.
That's what he's learned, but that's what he learned as well from the Man City and the Palace games. If we're going to bring him on, central, whether it's the 9 or the 10, it's central. That's what it is because he can do it. He can be the physical force. He can drop a bit deep. Last night, I know it's against Barrow still. He was swapping places with Felix, not going out too wide, but just dropping a bit more or going up front. And that's what it should be. We have Neto and Madueke now outside. We have Sancho and to a lesser degree Mudryk on that side. He shouldn't need to go out further. Why? Do you know what I mean? The options are there in the middle to either be the number 9 or the number 10. But that's what it is. The options are there. Well, Maresca's. I don't know if Maresca's even going to settle on a front like the front four. I think he'll mix it up as much this season as possible.
Yeah.
To keep, I
don't prefer that.
You might see maybe two, like Palmer and Jackson play more games than others. But even then,
I think it'll depend on the game. But I kind of feel like our attack's kind of settling itself already. Jackson's already looks like the clear-cut number 9. It looks like we're going to stick with Palmer centrally, and I guess Enzo is the other attacking midfielder too. I doubt Sancho gets dropped. I think the only real question is like the right-hand side because we still want to see that little element of consistency from Noni.
I don't
we
think
go further in the League Cup. We quite possibly may never see Palmer and Jackson in the League Cup, even if we make it to the final, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, if we can get all the way to the final without them, great.
No, but I mean, even in the final, they might not even play because he's got these guys starting. Do you know what I mean? They might be on the bench, maybe, but that's what I'm saying. If he gets through these cup competitions, not needing to play Palmer, not needing to play Jackson, not needing to play Sancho, so to speak, if that's his 3 of his 4, that's even better. They're fresher for the second half of the season. Palmer's not playing Conference League. Fantastic. Rest. He didn't have a proper pre-season. You know what I mean? This guy, him and Jackson didn't have a proper pre-season as well. Jackson was injured and Palmer came late from the tournament. They didn't even have proper pre-seasons.
But the thing that's worrying me now, because we do have a lot of attacking depth. That is great. In terms of right back, the Reece James and Gusto situation, we may need to start looking at cover for Gusto. It's that role now because he's getting out of hand. And then
I don't know. I feel like with James, it's genuinely just load management to death with him, which I really don't mind. Like, I'm only judging James once he's fully 100% fit and playing games. Because if he gets another injury after that,
that's a strong if. We don't see you need to realize he got suspended. He was injured for a large chunk of the season. He came back and he got suspended. He didn't go to the Euros. He's basically had the longest preseason out of everyone. There is no excuse for him to be even when he came back during preseason, he was overweight. So I'm looking at things and I'm like, why are you overweight? One, why are you still getting injured consistently? Again, this load management stuff. This is not the NBA. In the NBA, when you do load management, you play 4 games in a week in the NBA. They might miss 1 or 2 games and they're playing a big team. He's not available. He's not even touching bench. Same with Lavia. They are injured. It's just the way they're dressing this up with PR. They're making you think they're not injured. They're injured. So this is getting unfortunate now. Like because how many years in a row now are you going to cost us with injuries?
So he's basically not had a consistent season since he got injured in December 2021.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's basically 3 years. Which is why I was like,
the season before too.
But it was like I was like, okay, so let's give Achimpong minutes now. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, last night.
Is he really ready though?
Well, we don't know. That's what I mean. Let's see if he let's test him.
He was going to wean him into the team as well. So,
okay, so let him play right back in the Conference League game. Let him start the right back position in the Conference League game. Do you know what I mean? Let him start that. Let's see what he can do. Let's start building his minutes. That was my thing last season. It was like, I don't want to see Sassi at right back again. I know Scott put in the chat, stick with Fofana at right back. Do we want Fofana at right back the entire season? Do you know what I mean? I mean, Somerville twisted him up a couple of times at West Ham. Do you know what I mean? There's better wingers than Somerville. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't seem that comfortable against West Ham.
He didn't. He looked out of fish out of water.
He's out of position. This is the
my thing is ultimately you just play players where they're better. I think the way we're moving with Josh Achimpong is like he came off the bench for a little bit. I'd assume he comes off the bench again against Brighton. You have Gusto start. And then you give him the start in the Carabao.
I don't think he's even in the squad against Brighton.
Yeah, I don't even think he plays against Brighton.
No,
I think they're going to put the Sassi right back. Or
play Fofana, or move Fofana to right back, or bring Gusto on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if Gusto.
Because at least Boston had a good game against West Ham.
Yeah, I don't think even Gusto. I don't know if Gusto starts against Brighton, he might come on. Do you know what I mean? It might be that where you start with the Fofana at right back and then you take him off. It might be something
another
like
thing
that.
About our second string team, I think we may have jumped the gun by sending Ugochukwu on loan.
Yes.
I think we needed an alternative six. I wasn't impressed by Cassidy yesterday. He lost the most duels. He lost. I think I saw a stat. He lost the most duels in the game. He doesn't.
Cassidy?
He didn't show. He wasn't showing himself for build up a lot of the time.
I saw he won all of his aerial duels.
Aerial duels, maybe. I don't even know about that, but he definitely.
Maybe it was the ground duels he struggled with.
Yeah. So, and that's a League 2 side. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying I would have preferred if Ugochukwu. I understand he needs the minutes, so I get why he's going along because he needs to play regularly. That's understandable. But for our second string team, God forbid, touch wood, literally, I hope Caicedo stays fit for the whole season. He seemed very durable last season because if he goes down, we are fucked.
Yeah, we are.
And that's the only thing that's really scaring me this season.
We're more effed than I gotta say. I don't care what anyone says. I think we're more effed than City losing Rodri if we lose to Caicedo. Yeah. We're more effed because I don't. But our midfield options are limited. You then have a combination of Enzo, Cassidy, and Dewsbury Hall is your pivot. I mean that's good enough.
Do you think that Dewsbury Hall deserves to be higher in the pecking order than Carney Chukwuemeka? Because I don't think so.
I don't know. Dewsbury Hall is from.
Chukwuemeka's only just come back into the team. Dewsbury Hall barely plays anyway.
Do you know what I'm starting to think this transfer? You know what I'm starting to think this transfer of Dewsbury Hall was? That get a player in that knows the manager, so he can basically be the mouthpiece in the group because we all know the group of players are tighter together than they are with the management. Just be the literally feeding him lines about how good
the inside
the manager is. Yeah, the inside man. I wouldn't be surprised that next summer we're going to hear rumours of Dewsbury Hall either being sold or being out on loan next summer. Do you know what I mean? Because he would have hardly played this year, and especially if they want to bring someone like Andre Santos back, who's doing very well at Strasbourg, then I'm all for that. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't know. You're right, but the midfield options,
because there will be a squad building headache when we get to summer because Andre Santos will be coming in. I think Anselmino will as well. Kendry Pies, you're gonna have Esteval in too. Someone's gonna have to go out.
People gotta go. That's the thing with this.
I think
this attacking situation we've got. Madueke,
maybe
something nice. That's why he needs to really. I don't understand the complacency because
Mudryk is through the ice. He's underneath trying to get a hole in there.
Nkunku maybe also if we're buying.
That's a big one. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. The Nkunku one's probably might be the biggest one because. But I'm glad. But in a way, though, it's like we may not because we're bringing these two highly talented teenagers in, but they're moving. They're not just moving country; they're moving continent. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? It's not as if they're going from France to here. But I this is the situation I wanted them in. If we not like people go, yeah, just bring them in and throw them in. No. Let's give these kids. They are kids. Let's give these kids time to settle first in everything, outside and outside the pitch and on the pitch. You know what I mean? And then we can, because we've got the options. Let's then bleed them in carefully, right?
And they're very young as well. They don't speak.
They're 18. They're going to be 18. They're going to be 17, 18. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
We're moving continent. I know they'll be with their families, but it's still a lot to take in culturally. Do you know what I mean? In the time zones and stuff like that.
The weather as well.
But if we have a situation where we're not forcing ourselves to throw them in when they arrive, then let them come in, have a good preseason, settle in with the squad. Let's see how we do. You're going to play a game here and there, give me a bench here and there. You're not going to fully start. Do you know what I mean? And then let's build on that because that's the best way to get these guys settled. Do you know what I mean?
I just remembered there because you were talking about Stavio coming in. I was just thinking about next summer. Club World Cup. I don't see why we can't push for that.
No, I agree.
No reason why not. Part of me thinks that's one of the reasons why we've built so much of this depth because we basically have 2 seasons back to back. I don't really know where the players get their break or like the pre-season time off that.
Yeah.
And then after next season's the World Cup again as well.
That's right. Yeah, World Cup 2026. Yeah, but that's why using these cup games to heavily rotate as we did last night is helpful. Do you know what I mean? Not having even the players, they weren't even on the bench. Like most of the team that played against West Ham or that 11 that played West Ham, they weren't on the bench. Do you know what I mean? It's just
one thing. Prior to the old ownership, before everything just started changing around, that we was concerned about as a fan base was depth because we were so used to Reece James or Chilwell going down, our season's over, or Cant goes down and we're fucked. The fact that we've set ourselves up like this, where we have 2 completely different 11s, we've got 80 games this season. This is exactly what we need. I'm even really proud. I'm even a bit ashamed to say it, but I'm proud that they've done that. So
listen, I know people still talk about the ownership, but you're hearing less and less even the last few days. You know what I mean? Last week or so, even with this so-called civil war, you're not hearing that since the international break. Do you know what I mean? You're not even. We saw them; they were together at West Ham. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I know that's probably a publicity stunt, no problem. But you're not even hearing it online, like because we're winning. Because we're winning. That's all that matters. That's all that can change the fan base's focus on, of the owners, is winning. That's what.
And I hope people understand now why I was so critical of Pochettino last season. Because everything being nitpicked and put under the microscope ultimately came down to how poor we were on the pitch. And it was Poch. Could have been top of a Carabao. And not top, 4th of a Carabao. No one will be talking about process or we're a mess or none of that.
With the Poch stuff, I understand that, but we need to be level-headed here. Because, for example, there's certain things that Poch did that you guys didn't stand for that you allow Maresca to do. Poch didn't like playing Mudryk. Poch had Enzo in the final third, not at the 6. We've seen Gusto and so forth playing out of position. He done the 3 centre-backs the same way he's doing Maresca with the 3 centre-backs in the back 4, same way Maresca's doing 3 centre-backs in the back 4. There's a lot of similarities here. Also, you need to understand, for example, depth. This is the majority, the key word of this stream today has been depth. He had Jackson playing up top with Broja as the alternative. Nkunku weren't available. Reece James, Fofana were not available. These things.
So Nkunku also ain't starting the league games now.
I get it.
Even the stuff with like Enzo, like I hear what you're saying about Enzo playing up the pitch, but even then the roles are different. Under Pochettino, he was doing pressing, he was doing all the off the ball work, chasing the goalkeeper and everything. Now he's just getting much more touch to the ball, and it's about distribution. That's why I've been more critical about Enzo this season. You're having more of the ball. It's now about your passing, which should be your bag, and like there was games where he weren't doing that, and that's why I think it's a little bit different on that regard. In terms of Mudryk, he might have had a bit of vindication on not starting Mudryk. I'll give you that one because, like, yeah, it is what it is on that. Everything else, like, it even comes down to the start of the season. Man played 2 forwards at home against Nottingham Forest. The whole West Ham game where, like, we took Chukwuemeka off and we brought Mudryk with 0 minutes playing in a central position, and we thought he was going to change anything when we had other midfielders we could have brought on at the time. Luton, we won 3-0, started poorly. Aston Villa, 5 wins out of 5. Like, as soon as we were on the worst start of the season we'd had in years, we had to get a victory. As soon as we go down to 10 men, we take off Mudryk, who was the only one creating chances for us, to bring on Chilwell.
You see the Aston Villa game? Barring, fair enough, we even got a red card. But the Aston Villa game, if this was Maresca that had the exact same game, we would say, oh, we was the better team, we were just hard done by. Because a lot of the games last season, this is why I'm very grateful for the Bournemouth game, because we saw a difference in the team. A lot of the games last season where we lost and dropped points, we were the better team. And we just lost. But if that was to happen last season, a lot of games we were the better team, and we should have not lost the games.
Which games, for example?
I think Villa, we were the better team. The first game when Gusto got sent off, we should have won that game. I would say.
You can argue we had chances before that. My problem with Poch was game management afterwards.
I think West Ham, we were the better team that game.
Not second half.
Second half was disgusting.
Second
half was awful.
We could have went 2-0 up.
Enzo missed the pen in this first half. Yeah.
Again, game management.
I just think that
I would say Arsenal at home, we were the better team. City,
that goes down to individuals.
Liverpool at the Carabao Cup final, we were the better team.
Nope.
No.
We're only good for 20 minutes. We were only good in the last.
Against Liverpool at the Carabao Cup.
Bro, we were only good for like the last 20.
Last 20 minutes
of the 90 were only good. And I put that down to Liverpool being tired because they played 3 days before us and we had the whole week off. Before that, it was all hoop ball to Jackson tactics. They're like, Van Dijk had the greatest final he's ever had. Couldn't have been an easier game for him.
Klopp made those. He made more youth team subs in the extra time. He gave up because of the way we finished that second half. He thought we were going to continue that momentum into extra time, and we didn't. That was the thing. We sat back waiting for a penalty shootout. Poch came out and said, "Well, I asked to play. Oh, we think we can get to a penalty shootout." I just think last season it was. And I know it's only 5 games, but I think Maresca's shown more proactivity than Poch did last season. Do you know what I mean? With like the subs and stuff like that. Poch would play out for like last year against Bournemouth. He played out for a draw in the end. Do you know what I mean? I think we were just disappointed because we expected more of Poch given the background.
That's the thing. Is the expectation
like we were going to do a lot that season?
I feel it was the expectation.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think that's what that's why I say he's one of the worst Chelsea coaches for me because of what I expected of him. Where it's like Maresca,
I completely understand.
I didn't know what to expect from Maresca, so my expectations were limited on what Chelsea can do because of don't tell me what Maresca did at Leicester. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he did at Leicester. I don't count what he did at Leicester because it's in the Championship. You're talking big boy Chelsea here. Do you know what I mean? It's different multiverse. Do you know what I mean? So, the
last thing I would say about Poch as well is just I was in defense of Pochettino a lot last season because of the ownership and the directors and a lot of decisions that we're making in terms of the squad. There was a lot of injuries and so forth. But one thing that I've noticed, there's 2 sides of things. And I'm just on the outside looking in. There's a lot of people that say a lot of bullshit like Maresca's using Poch's tactics when he scores in transition. That's bollocks. Yeah. And a lot of people that say Poch basically done nothing and he was the cool. You need to realize Poch has 4 Young Player of the Years under his belt.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Palmer's ascension, a lot of people will not credit Pochettino for, which I think is unfair. You cannot blame him for all the bad things that happened last season, and then the things where you see, okay, Jackson, how his development and how he's improved. We know that Pochettino has a knack for developing strikers. You've seen Jackson how he's improved. We saw Palmer, a young player, how he's improved. You can say that and give him credit for it. Why do we have to do? Oh, he's completely awful, or he's God. That's the thing for me. That's why I understand.
I know. I can understand
even the worst people have some positives. I hear that.
But his thing with Palmer was, and it was very simple. Just give Palmer the ball and let him do his thing. That was his tactic with Palmer.
Because you need to realize
Because it was just
took
whole
over a
freedom
team.
ball, like just
Yeah,
run.
he
He
just
took
do what he
over a
wanted,
team of novices. You could argue
Yeah.
there was majority of the team didn't have over 80
Few of
league
individuals,
appearances in
yeah.
senior football.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
young players. The fact that the whole team basically got sold the summer before that year, the majority of the players got sold. It was a completely new team, young team. He had to put them together, create a squad environment out of everything, and then rally them to try and get Champions League football with the injuries to his best defender, Reece James, his best centre-back Fofana, his best goal scorer, finisher in Nkunku. Lavia wasn't available for most of it. You got to take this into account and say,
But
Nah,
what I
fair
also
enough.
I'd hear
5
that
points,
if
so
we
top
were
4.
if we weren't usually worse against the worst teams. That's my
yeah,
thing.
that's a mentality thing, isn't it? That's what it was. I
Like
think
you
it
look
built-
at City, we always seem to do well. Arsenal
this is-
5-0 aside, the 2-2 was good.
What I do like is that we heard all these reports when Poch went out about the players may have been close to him and liked him, but what I've liked is whether it's a joint thing or whether it's Maresca himself or the players, there's no hangover. Do you know what I mean? It's been reported. There's no like, oh well, I'm not going to do anything because I don't like the way you treated Poch. Get on with it. Let's see what Maresca's doing. And they bought, like I said, they bought in. He's got at the moment. He's got the majority of them buying in, if not all of them buying in, and that could be. And that I think is was good for him because this is his first big job. Do you know what I mean? It's his first massive job, and he's got reports coming out that the majority of the squad didn't want Poch to leave, and yada yada yada. He's got to try and do that while whatever the transfer fiasco is and the ownership stuff, and this at the moment he's not allowing it. You see any questions he gets about the ownership? He just bats them away. Don't want to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? It's not my job.
That's just him doing. Yeah, that's just he's doing what he's paid to be doing. Because
I like the way he came out. No matter what you think about the Sterling situation, I like the way he came out and addressed it because it wasn't like we could have easily swept under the rug and done like that, but he wanted to come out and say something because Sterling had 4-star hands. You know what I mean? So he didn't like disrespect Sterling by saying like he didn't do what Ten Hag did with Sancho and basically accuse Sancho of not being good in training. He just said Sterling was left out for a technical reason, and then Sterling's guys just leaked something to the press, and then he had to address it. Same with the squad thing. I'm not training with 45 players. I'm training with like 24, 25. He had to come out and say it because people would remember that before the start of the season. Remember that massive squad picture? Do you remember that? How many? I think Chilwell's the only one still there.
There it is.
Yeah, I think Chilwell might be the only one that's still there, and the rest are either gone out on loan or been sold, or not part of the squad.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
4,
a lot of them are gone. Who is Matos?
5. Alex Matos.
Norwich last season.
Turanian. Who are these people?
6.
That's not me. Yeah.
7, 8, 9,
That's
10,
all still
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Sancho's
15
not
names
even
have
on that
gone.
list. Sancho's not even on that list. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, and
Sancho's
that's
not
one
even-
more added.
Yeah, but we can take him out, and because Sterling's not there, we can take him out. That's what I'm talking
one
about.
thing
I think that was one where they had Andrin in twice.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the one? No, I can't see that. One
thing I will say, because I see a lot of comments saying, wow, CB's praised the clearly because that's Scott, right? It must be a clone. I will say
The brown envelope. You got the brown envelope.
They told me, yeah, this was a 4-window plan for Chelsea to compete for the title again. The fourth window ended in September this month.
Yeah.
So now I'm expecting the title. Right now, the way we're playing, a lot of the fan base are all rallying around saying, are we in the title race? Are we in the title race? As far as I'm concerned, until that changes, I have no critique because they're delivering on their promise. Now, if we're not in the title race and we drop off, you'll hear more from me. That's just me moving forward because I'm going off their word.
Yeah. Also, we have to they did come out and say when Poch was sacked, which is the biggest thing I don't like about them is the mixed messaging. Like top 4 in a trophy, but then you give me Kieran McKenna and Maresca as your top 2 choices. Top 2 choices as a manager. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. But let's see what we go. Like we're saying, if we reach January and we need something, are you going to back him? Do you know what I mean? Are you going to?
That's the thing.
Are you going to do something? And also, even if we do well this season, like we said earlier, then the striker situation still needs to be addressed, and the goalkeeper situation still needs to be addressed. I'm sorry, I know Sanchez has started okay, good this season, but I'm just not there. Do you know what I mean with Sanchez? I'm just not there with him. Do you know what I mean? And I don't even know what to make of Jorgensen because he's played like 3 games, and I don't even know
But
about him. Do you know
Sanchez
what I mean?
needs to give a lot more games than just a couple for us to really be sold on him. For me, I've been
Yeah.
saying Arsenal. Exercise your demons against Arsenal. If you have a brilliant match and you drag your form all the way to that game, I think a lot of people are going to start genuinely believing in you. As for now, it's just a little bit of form.
Bournemouth game was excellent. Best game he's played for us against Bournemouth. Best game.
Mm-hmm.
Best game he's played.
And at least like the passing, like his passing's just developed levels as well. Like he's no longer making stupid decisions on the ball. He seems composed. It's helping a lot with build-up play as well. Can't ask for more. Can't ask for more.
And to be honest, the type of football that we are playing, we're not defending in our box a lot. We're not really getting caught out in transition. He's not really being tested a lot. So I think is when we start facing the bigger teams. That's why stuff with like Raya, for example. Raya, you're seeing a lot more Raya praise now because they're all camped in their box defending for their lives for 90 minutes. So you're going to see a lot him getting tested a lot more. And to be fair, he's delivering. As for Sanchez, if we're playing in this system and it's working, we're constantly on the ball. He's claiming his crosses and corners. That's him doing more. I think in terms of the goalkeeper, addressing the goalkeeper situation, I'd rather get a 6 and a striker before a goalkeeper, if I'm being honest. Just
6 and a striker before goalkeeper.
Yeah, definitely a striker. Definitely a striker for
I think what will help is, like we said earlier, if we can get a spine formulated, I think that would help a lot in every position.
Yeah,
I think for the first time, because last season we didn't actually know our main 11. There was so many injuries and things were changing around. I think for once we actually know who our 11 is.
Yeah,
we know. Okay, we got Sanchez in goal. We know that it's Colwell and Fofana. We know that we got Caicedo at the base. We know it's Jackson and Palmer, and then the rest it fills in. We never had that luxury last season. So the fact that we've established that very early, I like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it's another positive, but like, yeah, that's what also part of the reason why I don't want to try and like put crazy expectations on them yet, because they have to continue building that form. You keep building the form, then you get to a point where you can't even try and talk down where we could potentially be competing for. As it stands, all it takes is one defeat, and then all the scaremongers are going to come back in, and all the other BS narratives are going to drop. And that's one of the things that concerns me a little bit more going into the next break. But that's make or break for us. That's where we show where we're standing, I guess.
I agree.
I'm just going to go through a couple of these super chats quickly because there's been a couple man that have been waiting. Big up to every single one of you that super chat who's just been watching the stream as well. Hit the likes and sub to Andrew, sub to CB. The links to their channels are all in the description. No, they're in the title, in fact. They're all in the title. Dominic says, look at the dates in December. There's times where we play, then play a day later. I had a look. I haven't seen that. And even then, I think that's subject to change, like, once the TV companies get involved. But, like, you got 1st December, 4th, 7th. There's always one midweek game early in December. We got Southampton
2 days
away.
around Christmas or something, New Year.
Yeah, it's Astana away on the Thursday, and then Brentford, which is just left on the Saturday, 3 p.m. So that's yet to be moved. That will be on Sunday.
By then, we should have already qualified, and we could just play, like, loads of, not even like the subs, like, play the kids or something. Do you know what I mean?
If in fact that's it, it's both Conference League games in December, and we play 2 days after because they haven't moved the fixtures yet. That will be changed.
They haven't done the TV games yet. Do you know what I mean? Although they'll move us to Sunday or something like that.
It's always like a month or two just before the game starts. So yeah, like that'll be changing time. Ramadan says when we inevitably become good, CB will be very unbearable for rivals. Standards FC.
Make Chelsea great again.
Yeah, bigger. Everyone
get on a hat, man.
I'm trying to get I'm getting a Donald Trump once, but in blue, it's gonna say "Make Chelsea great again." It's for the people, man.
Bro, we got one buyer right here, man. I'm there. I'm there. Big up to Abdias saying I just saw Arsenal's B team. Oh, well, who are they starting? Let me have a look. I can't check the account because the admin blocked me. But what's the Google say?
The Emirates don't look full though. That's for sure. Yeah.
Joe Porter in goal with the number 92. Nichols at right back. Lewis Skelly at left back. Calafiori and Kiwior in centre back. Jorginho, Rice and Wanyeri in midfield. Saka, Jesus and Sterling.
Saka. No way is he playing Saka and
Saka's
Rice?
still getting
Yeah,
minutes.
Saka's started. Yeah.
Oh my god, he played Saka and Rice. They played. Well, Saka did come off at half time, didn't he?
Yeah, he had 45 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, I suppose. But Rice, oh my god,
Against Bolton.
Poor Saka having to deal with those fucking BCM merchants next to him. He's
Even
going to be
Saka
struggling.
45 minutes. Give him a fucking rest. Jesus
Well, I guess
Christ,
they can't say they're not taking the cup seriously with the attack, I guess. But that back line is starving. That back line is fucking
Doing
starving.
that for Bolton is dark. That's not even.
I need to run through Arsenal Twitter to see the responses.
Or Gary Kane
No, I hear it, but it's like I've spent years cooking them for not taking the domestic seriously. I got to at least be a bit more consistent with that. They just still won't win it.
I need
That is
to
what
see
it
the
is.
responses of that lineup from Arsenal fans. I just need to see that. That was all.
Yeah, they're going to be. Saka has to be up in 45, but they should already be leading by that point too.
No,
If it's 0-0, then yeah, big question. Their keeper's 16.
yeah.
Oh, I better not see any Arsenal fans tweeting about aura like they love doing with their players. They put them on a register.
They signed Neto from Wolves, but he's cup tied, so they can't play him. And
That is like an incredible level of stupidity.
I think Raya picked up an injury. He's not being risked. So
You sign a cup keeper that's cup tied.
yeah, Norbert Neto.
Is it?
What an institution, man. Big up Ramadan saying people misunderstand CB because he's proper Chelsea. Trust. Like people try and act like he's like one of those negatives like Mr. AI and all of that who just want to see the club fail. We want to see the club succeed. It's just like we might be on different stratospheres on certain things, but ultimately we just want to see the club do well. That's why like people in the chat who are trying to compare him to Rory Jennings, please.
No,
Let's not do that.
I wish that guy was AI. I swear to God right now, man. I wish he was AI.
Did you see his
You make
reaction
more
to us going 3-0 up against West Ham?
No, what did
I
he
saw
say?
it going around, but I haven't actually looked at it yet. Let me find it.
He's a
Hold on, I'll
douche.
send it to you.
He blocked me, but I didn't swear at him or anything. I just criticised what he said. Well, I can't remember what it was about now, but I wasn't like horrible to him. I just went, "You're just wrong." He just blocked me.
That was it.
Yeah, I wasn't swearing. I criticised what he said. I didn't put any swear words or anything because I didn't think that was appropriate. You know. But,
With that in mind, I'm surprised he still follows me back. Fair enough.
He's
a grifter. He's a grifter. Why don't people get this? He's a grifter. Do you know what I mean? He has
on Twitter.
word of the day toilet paper that he uses.
There it is.
High convoluted words. You know.
It was just like, oh yeah, we scored. Oh yeah.
So which
Cole Palmer has scored. Chelsea 3. I've just caught up. I'm watching the celebrations. Cole Palmer has scored for Chelsea. Cole Palmer has scored.
This is 3-0 up away from home, yeah, to West Ham. We ain't won in 7 years. There's like 3 different
now. Yeah, I've seen better life in a funeral.
Have we scored again? 2-0.
Oh, that's
sensational. Nicholas Jackson again, yeah? God. Have we scored again? 2-0.
Look at the limbs. He can't even contain himself. He's fucking buzzing.
Sensational.
I genuinely think I celebrated more on my Barrow watch along yesterday.
Passion.
Are you telling me that we've scored? We have scored. Yes. Nicholas Jackson's put Chelsea 1-0 up. Lovely stuff. Are you telling me that we've scored?
This is what rivals say the bridge is like, you know? This is how they feel like people are at the bridge. That's the app.
Oh my goodness. Man is saying, is this a hate along? Fuck it hell. Oh no, you're talking about the game. No. I am not doing Europa League hate alongs. Fuck that. But yeah, like what the fuck? That wasn't even like real joy in that. That was just like, yeah, we've won, great. Apparently, he's also only done videos on Chelsea when we're losing, which is like, boy.
Did you see the thing I sent you, Lewis, about the Pochettino stuff? Did you see?
Nah, one sec. What was that? Have you sent it to me now?
No, I sent it to you. I'm sure I sent it to you about half an hour.
Oh, yeah. Just seen it.
You seen it? Just watch this.
I absolutely adore Mauricio Pochettino. I hate Mauricio Pochettino. I genuinely do. Mauricio Pochettino has left Chelsea. The timing of this is ludicrous. And I think it is the perfect demonstration as to how dangerous these new owners are.
This is ridiculous, bro. There was like a 2-minute cameo of that, I think, of him just like flip-flopping throughout the season.
Yeah.
There was another one because we're talking about how Sterling's been mistreated and everything, and how we shouldn't be treating him the way he is. Let me see if I can find this thing from Ibsy. Where is it? Where is it? Because like he was complaining about the way we treated Sterling, and I saw a clip of him saying we need to sell Sterling.
Yeah, there'll be things about him liking Kai Havertz, then not liking Kai Havertz, stuff like that.
But I just
It's
I don't
fucking
get it, man. Like I've noticed for a long time that Chelsea and mainstream platforms are
Arsenal score,
misrepresented
from
from the jump. Like from even when we were winning, it was usually the case where it's so tone deaf. You don't really actually understand what's going on with the fans. You're not really speaking for the fans. You're speaking for yourself. Do you know what I mean? And he's just a clear example of that. Just going into our season, like I would love for me, because I'm really big on just raising our standards. As a fan base, I've noticed our standards are slipping. I would like to raise it. Him personally, him being up there, we're talking about us being on form. Look, why can't you say, you know what? I would want us to win the title. I want us to win the title. Even just throwing that out there. So then it's like, wow, you know what? Fair enough. This is where Chelsea feel like they are. They're in a great trajectory.
That's why I ain't even trying to talk you down for saying we should contend. I'm just glad I hear that. Exactly. I'm glad we even have conversations about that. Like, fair enough. Cool. More power for that. This was the Sterling video, by the way. He's talking about the way we treated Gallagher, Chalobah, Chilwell, Sterling.
It's as simple as that. Raheem Sterling is done at Chelsea. I like Sterling. Look, he's from my neck of the woods, but ultimately Sterling, it hasn't worked.
You speak
we
like
needed
that.
him to be. He hasn't been. We needed him to be Cole Palmer. I wanted him to be what Cole Palmer did for us this season. Carry us. Be everything that we need him to be. And ultimately, Raheem Sterling needs to leave Chelsea. Partly because it hasn't worked for him. Partly because it hasn't worked for the club. I think both the club and Raheem Sterling need a new option. But also, going back to the finances of Chelsea, Raheem Sterling is one of the prized assets that we could actually get some money for. You know, Raheem Sterling is worth an awful lot of money. The only reason why he could stay is presumably he has a relationship with Enzo Maresca. They would have worked together at Man City, wouldn't they? I think. So,
and now it's like we've treated him badly because we tried to force him out. Like, I understand the whole Sterling situation. He was part of the squad till Neto came in. Then you've outlived your usefulness. It is what it is. It is what it is.
The only thing for me with Sterling is I don't like the idea that Mudryk outlived him. Because a lot of people forget that Mudryk and Enzo joined the same season as Koulibaly and Sterling and Fofana and so forth. He could have got God especially if it was a loan, I think we could have got Mudryk out there before Sterling. But ultimately, it is what it is at this point.
Do you believe that story? Do you believe that story last week about someone came? They didn't actually name the club, but someone came in for Mudryk on loan. Does anyone really believe that story?
Some German club apparently.
Yeah, but they said no. We wanted to keep him because we really think he can do something. I just find that.
I only believe that there was an interest from a club in Germany. I think the rest from Fabrizio was all just like bulking up the story.
I honestly think no one came in for him. I just don't think anyone came in for him. He wasn't linked to anyone, even on loan. Straight, he wasn't even linked to Strasbourg.
I could think maybe like a little deadline day or late in the window, they try to have a little punch.
He wasn't even linked to Strasbourg on loan. Do you know what I mean? There's no talk about even sending him to Strasbourg. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, like, can we even send anyone to Strasbourg at this point?
We could have sent him. We could have sent him and said, we could have loaned him out instead of Ugo Chukwu. Do you know what I mean? That's what we could have done.
I heard a story about Bayern wanting him, but I don't know how much.
No. Is that the same as the trophy?
Been from years ago, probably from the Shakhtar days, not now.
Oh yeah, I can see company going. You know what? This Bayern squad needs Mudryk. Yeah, Elise, Gnabry, Sane, Musiala are not enough. I need Mudryk to get us over the line. In the Bundesliga.
I'd be thinking more like Leipzig or like maybe a Dortmund.
I mean,
what is Mudryk's level though? Because we know he's not good enough for here. In terms of the Premier League, I don't know. Maybe if it was I don't want to write him off completely in terms of Premier League because of just seeing what Cho is doing and Elanga and so forth at lower levels where the expectations are a bit lower. What actually is his level though?
I think
Not
his level. I think his level was last night because even against Conference League, he got subbed off just after half time against Savić. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what his level is? League 2. So Wrexham come in and sign him. That's what I want. Oh, Wrexham. Oh no, they're in League 1. They're not even in League 2.
I did see that Marseille are interested in him, but I don't know if that's because De Zerbi's there.
Take him.
I think that's a De Zerbi link, if anything. But
Marseille right now are doing a last chance operation over there. They're just trying to save careers.
Rehab FC. Rehab FC, that's what they are.
Literally, it's rehab over there.
Rehab. Amy Winehouse FC, that's what they are over there, man. That's what they are.
Oh, God, man.
Lubanga, I'm going to guess you probably spoiled one of the goals, if anything. If it weren't that, I don't remember. Because it wouldn't have been me unless it was that. What the fuck happened to this camera? Big up to Samuel saying, yes, that's a mindset, Chelsea to win the league. That's why I'm not trying to talk it down. I don't believe in it yet. But if I want to talk about Chelsea in a title race, go for it. I ain't heard that one in fucking years. So
remember that year when we won the Champions League, and Dubois was doing the thread where it started as a gimmick, when it's just little comparisons of the last time we won the Champions League, the similarities, and it was a joke at the time. And it was that more and more things were happening. We're like, hold on, this might be real.
Yes.
This might be real. And
like Dubois was doing the whole thing with the Breaking Bad meme. Was like, this happened in 2012 and it's happening now.
Yeah.
And then we just end up winning the whole fucking thing.
Remember, all we needed was a striker to round that team off, and it would have won the league. Didn't need to address any other areas, just that one striker. We were missing that one killer.
Then we got two.
Haaland news.
We're already breaking the curses.
Haaland news for like 3 months and nothing happening at all. Those streams were dead.
Yeah, that was a mess.
And then Lukaku is back.
Remember when AI man said he had sources saying we're getting
sources,
Haaland?
Don't get me started on the IT games, man.
Why? Do you know what he said? He said, "Why is Erling Haaland in Norway? Well, he's Norwegian. So he's probably visiting family." That was one of the things he was going. He said, "Why?"
I went to Chelsea and I tried to get Haaland on the back of my shirt and they wouldn't let me.
Why would Haaland be in Norway? Why would Haaland be in Norway? He's Norwegian. Could that be it? Could have family there? No, he's signing something for Chelsea. He's signing a disclosed contract. We can't talk about it. And how the hell do you know about it then? If it's disclosed details, do you know what I mean? Why would you? It's just ridiculous. Honestly, this whole thing. We were focused on it. Whatever. It's all changed in it. 3 years ago.
Literally, I'm just looking at it now. Last time we had an Italian manager, we won the league in our first season. Last time we beat West Ham away from home, we won the league that season. Slowly but surely it's building up. You know what we might have to do for the greater good? And I hate to say it, we might have to hold a beating to Arsenal and change to a back three. Maybe.
Not again.
Maybe. For the greater good, man.
No. You got to think of 14-15 against Arsenal, where we just to beat them 2-0. That's what it is with the back four. That's what you got to think about. But that's what we get a penalty and against the runner play goal. That's what we need. We need to actually, if you think about it, we just need to do
won a lower level European competition, and
all we need to do is what we did to Arsenal last year, and just look for a goalkeeper to give them the ball.
There's coincidences there too, but that also leads into Jay's super chat. Big up, man, saying something special under Italian managers. Come on, you Blues. Fucking facts, man.
Vialli,
Conte, Di Matteo, all of them, man.
Renier.
And Phineas says winning cures everything. Again, this is why I was so critical last season. All he had to do was just start winning and no one would be moaning. Yeah. Like 3 weeks of victories and people were willing to ignore the fact that we just lost 5-0 at the Emirates. Within 3 victories, they were willing to do it. It was driving me nuts.
But then you could argue, let's say, for example, we won that Carabao Cup and he stays. Well, are we where we are today?
Nope.
I don't think so.
The only thing is, I would have still been Poch out with the Carabao, but I would actually listen to people who try to use the trophy as an argument. Trophies talk. I ain't gonna try and talk that down. It wouldn't be enough for me, but I'd hear it if someone said he won a trophy, give him another year. I'd be like, whatever. Yeah, like at the end of it, a trophy's a trophy. Like you can't start downplaying trophies, otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah, we're Arsenal.
Exactly. But guys, this has been an unbelievable stream. I've really enjoyed catching up with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show as well. We're going to be back probably tomorrow, probably going to run up another stream, and then Friday preview, Saturday game. You already know how things go. But yeah, big up everybody. I hope everybody's subbed to Andrew and CB. The links to Casually, the links to Celsius Europe are in the title. So everybody head over there, show them some love. I'm going to send everyone over to Troops. Tell him Jackson over Havertz. Everyone just spam Jackson over Havertz. You lot already know what to do. Big up everybody.